because if I can move away from the norms of the group, I may be able to help push the group closer to its goals. Okay? Now, if this doesn't make a lot of sense, bear with me, because we're going to look at the 1964 article, which is called Emergent Leadership and Social Influence, and we're going to see that Hollander takes this 1961 work and develops it better. And we'll see it on the slide. So just hang tight with me, we'll get there, okay? But I'm trying to paint a general picture for you. There are two behaviors that I want to discuss. Does anybody need any of this anymore? Okay. There's two behaviors that I want to discuss. These are very, very important. We've talked about these before. We're going to use some new terms for them, but these are concepts that are going to bear with us throughout the whole course. Now, there are two kinds of behavior that an emergent leader can deviate from. Okay, so these are behaviors. Now, these are not traits. Excuse me. Notice my terminology here. I'm not talking about traits. What am I talking about? Just keeping your seat warm, please. Okay? These are behaviors, okay, not traits now. These are behaviors that the emergent leader part of the problem with these PowerPoints is that they don't bring all this stuff together. All they do is they're just stuff that goes zip down through the readings. But they don't put it all together, and that's the important thing, is to try to piece these things together. And that's what we're doing now. Now, this is work that was from an author, and his name is sort of important, by the name of Bales. And he's probably one of the most famous researchers in leadership that there is. Now, just let me tell you a little bit about Bales, because it's kind of interesting. You may remember during this period, and for the British, that was from 1939 to 1945, and that's for the UK. And for us, it was 1941 to 1945. There was a thing called World War II. Now, you may say, what does that got to do with leadership? It's got a whole bunch. One of the things that they started researching was about what is leadership in war. Because they wanted to train the Army to be brave, to go out and win, right? And in particular for us, as Americans, fighting both the Germans and the Japanese, who were particularly brutal prisoners, you didn't want to get captured. Because it probably meant they were going to torture you and then kill you. And so there was a lot of emphasis in the military to train people to lead. There was a lot of research done during World War II on leadership. Bales was one of those people who studied leadership. Then he went on to Harvard after World War II and continued his interest in leadership. Bales did a series of studies that lasted over a number of years. And what he would do is to hire students just like you and put them into groups in a room. And he'd give them a problem to solve. And he'd watch how they solved it. And then he'd do it again, over and over and over and over and over. And do you know what? He found out that a couple behaviors emerged. And that's what I'm going to talk about for a minute on the board. And these we've talked about We haven't used the terminology yet, but these are very important. And Bales comes up with two behaviors that are necessary for a group to achieve its goals.